What's going on, Moon Platoon? It's your friendly neighborhood Andrew Mo Money with a sleepy Gary Gensler over here talking about dark pools. This is from yesterday. Let's take a listen on how this man has already decided what he knows about the AMC and GME dark pool debacle.
We are taking a real close look at market structure. And I recently started, engaging on Twitter, and to some of those Twitter followers that are writing about dark pools, we are looking very closely at this market structure that so many of our orders, retail public orders, are not going to the lit markets, but are going to internalizers, going to wholesalers who are taking the retail public's trades rather than sending them to the stock exchanges.
Uh-oh, that seems like a exploitable feature in the market. How's it going? My name is Andrew. That's Professor Meatball. And we're here just to have a little bit of fun with you. Couple hours on the stock market. We got Wrecked at Night. We got Kevin. We got Joshua. We got AB, the Uke Stan. We got Keith Cloverdale. We got Stevie J. Let's listen a little bit more about not only what Gary Gensler, the SEC chair, this is the big boss himself, has to say, but we have a Dave Lauer coming in as well, data scientist, whistleblower, ex-Citadel trader.
That was SEC Chair Gary Gensler speaking exclusively to CNBC earlier today about the retail investor. But our next guest says the SEC needs to do much more to level the playing field. Let's bring in Dave Lauer, former Citadel trader and CEO of Urban AI. Dave, great to have you with us.
Thanks so much for having me on, Melissa. I appreciate it.
It's nice that Gensler is engaging with the Twitter community, but I know from looking at the Twitter community's comments about what Gensler said today that there is a lot of skepticism about whether or not the SEC can or will in fact do anything. From your perspective, what do you think is the number one thing that the SEC should be focused on when it comes to this particular matter of routing order flow to wholesalers as opposed to lit exchanges?
Yeah, I appreciate the skepticism. You know, I've been sort of in this conversation now for almost 10 years, and I've heard about holistic reviews of market structure and you know, the need to study. And I feel like it's, something that we hear a lot of and we see little action. And I think the most important thing that we should be focusing on from a market structure perspective is the fact that almost half of all trading is happening off exchange. And in some retail heavy names, you're seeing more than 70% of the volume executed in these internalizers or wholesaling systems. And that's damaging the markets, it's widening spreads, and it's a significant information advantage for those two firms, Citadel and Virtu, who operate a de facto duopoly in the internalization market. So I think that we should be looking at better disclosures, and I think we should be looking at rules similar to other countries. You know, this isn't a controversial thing. Canada, Europe, the UK, Australia all have very strong rules that prevent the internalization and off-exchange execution of small orders while preserving that functionality for institutional orders.
David.
Thank you. Hector with the coffee in the morning. Julian Sheets says, he's not a trader. Yeah, he's not a traitor. Although if you worked on Citadel, you might assume that you might actually label him as a Citadel trader because he whistle blew on Citadel. But I said the word trader, like a DER, like he traded. But yes, he is also a CEO now. Let's take a look at the fact that there might be a flag forming on AMC's price action this morning. I'm trying to identify it right now. Let's keep on doing some TA while Mr. Dave Lauer tells us, spits some truth right now. Give us the airtime we need to talk about equity in the market.
It's Karen, thanks for being on. So just so I understand clearly.
Daniel Rodriguez, he'll be back in a few weeks as a Patreon. Glad to hear it, Daniel.
When you talk about disclosure, are you saying make the dark pools transparent and that should help solve the problem?
Well, I would like to see more transparency, but I think we've done a good job there. When I think better disclosures, I'm thinking around short positions and derivatives, that type of thing, the issues around failures to deliver and naked shorting. I think we need much better disclosures in that area, which is a major area of concern. And then in terms of off-exchange trading, I think we should require material price improvement for small orders for off-exchange trading. And in saying that, I'm only echoing what Citadel said in a comment letter in 2004, where they made the identical arguments that I'm making here.
I would argue, Dave, though, that with payment for order flow effectively, but the notion that retail orders, retail trades are routed to internalizers and wholesalers instead of lit markets, that they are getting better pricing. Is there truth to this?
They're getting better pricing relative to a wider spread. And this is so important to understand. The way that we route orders for retail, it means that those orders do not go to lit markets. And by taking those orders away from lit markets, you widen the spreads because everyone wants to trade against those orders. Those orders are profitable for market makers. So all I'm arguing is that we should have open competition for order flow.
That's a fairly reasonable argument. So he's talking about the fact that, people might say that you have best execution. You might have one of it's kind of like AAA grade, like grade A1 steak sauce, right? Relative to what though? Why is it best if it is actually going to be lining the pockets of the rich and making them even richer? And then he mentioned that there's a duopoly with Virtue and Citadel. We mentioned that really it is the big two plus the four others in the dark pool. We checked that off-exchange data yesterday, so it's important to be able to follow the data and see where it goes. Good morning, Farima. I need to pull up AMC with a fishing pole. Hold on, where are my fish? I gotta snap a fish into these double-topped price actions. So both AMC and GME faced a high on the 4th early in the morning, dropped all the way down to its low during the extended hours between the 4th and the 5th, caught its high on the 5th, which double tops at the exact same location of 157.79 or 157.57. Either way, GME has a brand new level of resistance here, and that is where we're going to be watching. AMC had a similar cup-shaped pattern across 2 different days of trading, so this is not an intraday cup and handle, but these don't really form within this time period either. So we're currently watching a slide back down to, well, it's pretty obvious, 1, 2, 3 levels of resistance all the way down to the 3164s. In that sense, there was nothing to stop the price action, which means there's nothing to stop the price action back up either. It's a two-way street, which means that we are likely going to be in pretty good shape. Good morning, Conceptual Logic. Lisa Jones, good morning. Glad to see you're here. Thanks for broadcasting today and helping us understand what's in the market. Your dedication is much appreciated. Lisa, thank you so much for those kind words. I appreciate that. I do. Oh, yes. Oxygen. People are saying that there's high SIS utilization, pandemic gains, doppelganger. We've been talking about Oxygen for months, so we can talk about that a little bit later in a second. Hi there from Austria, says UK Stan. Oh my God, Joji. Why do I do this to myself? It's been months. It's been literally months. Let's see. Come on, the price may be artificially better, but that's because you bought all the liquidity from the markets, says Granan Barrett. A great way to interpret that as well. We have a little bit left of what Mr. Dave Lauer has to say. Let's listen.
That should not be a controversial thing in capitalist markets. Get those orders onto exchanges. Let all the market makers compete for them. You would tighten spreads, and you would still get price improvement and size improvement for those retail orders. So I'm convinced that net, we would see far better execution quality, even for retail, let alone for institutional asset managers who would benefit from those tighter spreads by 25% or more.
It's kind of like the the over-the-top Lorax adaptation movie, where the Onceler and his entire family control the entire market. So even though there seems like there's best execution, it's best relative to not the perfect parity across an actual fair market. What's up, Duck Nation? Sick is here. What's up, Shining Fox, Conceptual Logic, and Conceptual Logic was always here. Ivy Creek, we got RJ Ape Dance, we got Way Long Beddings, Shining Fox, Tom, and of course, Professor Meatball right behind me. we're almost finished up with this Dave Lauer SEC clip. Is the SEC doing enough? We just had Gary Gensler back here talk about that exact question, and they know about the dark pools. So in that sense, what is Dave making these faces? What is next?
Asset managers who would benefit from those tighter spreads by 25% or more.
So basically what you're saying is that right now the system is such that you might get a better price, but that's like saying you're getting something at a 20% discount after it's already been marked up 40% or something like that. Or right? I mean,
exactly.
Basically, yeah. It looks better, but it's really not because that spread is so wide.
There you go. Melissa even gets it. Melissa, she's been getting it for a long time. Here, we've had clips of her from all the way back in January, where she was fighting. At that point, she was playing devil's advocate on behalf of the apes. We were the devils at the point, but now we're the details. We're coming up to a potential bounce. And Meatball wants a treat. You guys want to give him one? Okay, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to give him one. It's going to be in the shape of this beach ball here. Super cute. Look at that. Beach ball treat. And all you guys need to do is when he snaps into the snaps into this treat, slam on that like. Comment out which one you are. Let's try to get the number equal because that's the math that wants to make sense here. 3, 2, 1, boom. Good boy, Meatball. Good catch. What's up, Mo Money? Hey, Andrew. What's up, John Luke Fritzen? What is going on? Jason, Sauron, HD Davis, and Alex Stuffer. Let's finish this video.
That's right. And if you look at other markets around the world, they actually have lower execution costs than the US. If you compensate for the fact that the US market is much bigger and you control for company size. But I've seen reports that show that execution costs in markets with less off-exchange trading are lower. And that's what we should aspire to in the US.
Dave, great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Dave Lauer. Tim Seymour, I know some have made the argument on this show that things have never been better for the retail investor. Do you still stick by that at this point?
Well, look, I think there's a comment here that you can make an argument that this duopoly that exists, and I'm not sure how we got here, and it's a long story, but that this is affecting all market participants, and that there is at least an institutional bias in that, yes, some of the larger orders could get routed here, and I think there's an ability to actually see who's who. But yes, this higher cost dynamic is something that, look, it's impossible to really measure where they would be if the market didn't exist with the dark pools with just two players.
No, it is possible. You could go back to 1993 or 1992, go back to the 1990s before dark pools existed, and you would be able to measure exactly that. Anyway, Axion Drop, what's going on? Black Korea says, Andrew, a lot of groups in South Korea are saying next week is the big one. Well, I respect the ants. I love that they're doing DD. We don't do dates, we only do data, right? Dates mess up people's expectations, so we can only point to the fact that SEC chair has confirmed multiple times that the dark pool manipulation is going on and that there's a duopoly on the horizon of fair market practices to that financial revolution that we're talking about, right? The greatest wealth transfer that we have seen in our lifetimes, and possibly will ever. Daniel Sung says, give our boy some love by hitting those thumbs. Picking up some meds for the kiddos' grandma because everyone else has been quarantined. Oh no, Jessabel. Good morning, Moon Platoon. Jessa. Make sure to stay safe. Thoughts are with you. Let's see. So that was the Dave Lauer, man. That was the Gary Gensler. I moved the frame, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Over here. Now we're going to focus on a couple of patterns that we were able to identify yesterday. If you guys watched that update video from the day before, that was us identifying correctly a bullish pennant on the intraday. So we focused on a swing up. That's the uptrend right here. And then we saw the pennant here, confirmation here, here, and here. That gives us a nice little wedge of price action, lower volume here. You guys can see the volume go down. And a breakout right here. I'm going to draw it in red. Breakout in volume, which means breakout in price. All right, so that's technical trading. If you guys don't know anything about patterns or seeking out what is next, a little bit of time series analyses, this is a pretty great indication, and it almost never fails. The only thing that I think is a little bit more consistent is a double bottom. That's a George W. And we've seen a couple of George W's in our time as well. 34.12 on the day for AMC yesterday, and that's where we were trending all day in the after hours. Pre-market, we actually optimistically pushed up to 34.72 before then coming back all the way down to the next level of support here. Just caught a bounce at 31.57. Now we are being caught down by the simple moving average, currently down 5.16% with 25 million volume. Yeah, it has been almost 2 hours of trading with only 25 million volume. If this was even yesterday with 100 million, that would be pitiful, tiny. Bradley says, watch you every day. Thank you for your calm demeanor and fact-based DD. That's the point. Anastasia says, Dave Lauer made a lot of sense. He making those words connect in my brain. The shenanigans continues, the space agent. No, Jessa, stay safe, stay well. Matt Dinard, what's going on? We just walked through some TA for the day. We're currently trending right underneath that simple moving average, right above this critical level of support at 31.57. Diamond Black says, they don't call my man Mo Money for nothing. They don't. That's the. My cup has a dragon on it. This cup. So cool. Could you Lux AMD, please? Where's AMD at? Is it up again today? AMD is up. Tiny bit. It is basically flat on the day. People ask me to Lux something. That means they want me to look at the Lux algorithm, which gives you buy and sell signals so that your life stays easy and your portfolio stays green. Green. The color of good. So this is the AMC. Strong sell signal from earlier today. Not much change throughout. Let's take a look at AMD. Just go down the alphabet. AMB, AMA. Let's see, strong buy, now strong sell. That did push into these Bollingers of reversal at 114.85, then came back down at a turning point at 116.21. You would have been able to catch this if you were able to see this tapering off of the oscillator down below. So that's why we have multiple different signals for being able to catch these potential reversals. I would say anything higher than 116.40 is going to be overbought for AMD. Anything under 112 is going to be oversold. So right now you are in oversold territory. Bounce incoming, perhaps. Short interest change, plus 1.85. That means that we are likely going to be, nearing the 16% range for AMC. A short interest for AMC is nearly up to 16%. Shorts keep shorting, they keep on growing, which means that they're continuing to dig a deeper and deeper hole. If this is T+2, so the rip from yesterday will be reflected in the short interest as early as Monday, or maybe even later today. Can I Lux Algo Bitcoin? Hell yeah, you can do it for crypto. You can do it for basically any security. You've done it for like currencies as well. Anything that can be measured against the US dollar. Look at how cute he is waiting in the back. Not only do you get stonk on the daily, you also get dog. Just patiently waiting. The only place on the planet to get more pictures of dog is on my Instagram, by the way. That's true. Andrew, what is the catalyst that needs to be in place for the share price to rise with all of the manipulation? Dustin, we're looking for something that is a clearer narrative than dark pool abuse, because that is scary. And that's the title of this video. That is the point that we want to be able to drive home, but too many people don't understand it. So unless we can change the narrative so that people can actually understand what is the abuse and what is the SEC going to try and do about it, as of right now, people are just going to have to speculate on what the next possible catalyst is. And that's scary. Speculation, it leads to expectation, which leads to suffering. Whoa, Mars the Kid says, thanks, Mr. Drew. Keep up this fire. Fire TA. Been here since day uno. I'm not leaving. I love that. Mars the Kid. That's a cool name. You make music? Let's see. I thought shorting wasn't allowed yesterday. I think actually you are right, which is why today is a different cat entirely. He's talking about the SSR, and so let's be completely clear. Shorting was allowed yesterday, only on the upticks. If you're on the short sale restriction list, you are, you have one layer of protection, but really, it's such a flimsy layer. It might as well be something you don't talk about. You can mention it. Let's see. Donnie Burger. Fuzzy Weekends. What's going on here? Liberty Holdings says, I'm the nicest and smartest YouTubed by far. I'm just here as your friendly neighborhood YouTubed. But I really appreciate that. Semi says, not gonna lie, only positive news and I'm still in the red. Come on. What's going on? Yep, that's what happens. Often. They try to take your positive news, spin it on a Friday, and then you're bleeding in the middle of the Friday. You're out on the street, 4th Avenue. You're right next to Times Square. You're like, what's going on? Wake up in a daze. Andrew's one of those YouTubers that read as many comments as possible. That's true. That's true, Joseph. You got it. Do you think that the dark pools or the market makers that are making a bigger impact on share price? Market makers and the dark pools, they work in conjunction, right? You have to be kind of a market maker role in order to have a dark pool. Like certain hedge funds can as well, but then they're normally like serving as part of that market making role. Sharon says, finally you're here. Sharon, more like finally we're here. And when we're here, we're family. Francisco wants to know what hair product. I should really have a brand deal with my hair product. So if you're Uno Japan hair products, give me a ring because I love your product. Let's see. Finance says, were you not streaming Wednesday? I was streaming Thursday. I was MIA on Wednesday. So one day not here. You guys threw the love on the Twitter and Instagram. So if you guys don't catch me on YouTube, because obviously I can't be here 24/7, follow on Instagram and Twitter. We're giving freebies out on those two platforms. If you guys like to be part of a community that gives back first. Pow, pow, pow. BBB, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having a pretty solid week so far. Yes, says we need to take your family to work day. Aww, the family. Oh, Tease McGee, good morning. Glad to see you. What's up, Rennie for now? Hey, good to see you. You see how Rennie for now has a gold, little gold badge, just like Jessa, and just like Krimmer. That little gold meatball coin shows that you guys have been part of the Moon Platoon in your tenure, and that's good. That's just what it takes. We need Apescape hair products. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's the name of my new brand of anything. It's gonna be Apescape. Now, you tell me if someone has already made that stuff up, right? Get me to a copyright agent ASAP. Streamers have lives? What? Yes. And viewers have likes. Wink. Like the video. Fast and Furious 10, says Uncle Beto. Dom and his crew are stranded on the moon after buying AMC stock before the mother of all short squeezes. Now they have to build a car from the old Apollo lander and get back to Earth. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. Oh man, Easy Backpack, what's up? Well, visit my better half, my one true love, my cutie patootie Andrew. Hey man, thank you so much for the Twitter universe. Yesterday I showed my ex-girlfriend's boyfriend heart. I'm not sure if I have the full context, but I sure love everything that happened there. Oh man, just use Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue, that's a good one too. But Gorilla Glue is already a brand. We're trying to make our own brand right now. Reached up to the VWAP here, and it doesn't look like we're stopping. AMC has now recovered about 2% of its lost price action, bounced off of the 3157, caught a downdraft from the simple moving average, now coming up above the SMA, now to the VWAP. Harder cookie to crack. Earlier, we were rejected by the EMA after passing through the VWAP. If that does happen now, we have a further distance to travel since the EMA is still up at 3281. The VWAP is at 3240. INGN. Enogen. 5% from the 5225s. Wow, look at that gap. This just looks like a falling knife recovering slowly. We'll cover Enogen in a sec. Dang. Josh Lawson says nonstop corruption. Love to be an ape. Gotta love it. Oh man. Every day with these shenanigans, seriously. When will they stop? Easy Backpack, that's my line. What's up, Highlands Meats? McRae, gotta clean up before Showerfest. You know what? Showerfest is the cleaner. I want everything dirty. Everything dirty AF until Showerfest. Ape says, is this a cup and handle forming? Probably not. Not on the daily. Not on the intraday, please. Anthony says, after all, you only find out who is swimming naked when the tide goes out. WB. That's right. You only find out who's naked when you look down. How's it going? He's having the cutest day right now. Gotta love him. Lex Luthor says, hey Andrew, I was on vacation in Aruba for some mental relaxation. Heard apes bashing CNBC. What did I miss? Well, we did have that clip from Mr. Kramer himself calling the apes communist. Very weird. Let's see if he has a update, or maybe there's like another light on that clip, but it certainly doesn't paint him very well. Okay. He's okay. United Airlines, Norwegian Cruise Line, Susquehanna. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't think Kramer issued a public apology, which is what I'm waiting for. Anyway, we'll just play that clip real quick, so in case you guys haven't seen it, it's about a 90-second clip. It's really fast. So for Lex, this is your answer as GME. As GME goes back all the way up to the VWAP, crosses over its EMA, AMC is currently waiting for its VWAP breakout. Let's take a look.
It's crazy, but you know what? It's not dilutive. And so I wonder whether the apes just don't come in and start buying it furiously. They did buy a huge number of August 70 calls, here the apes being the kind of a shorthand for who the hell they are. And I don't know. I mean, I think that because it's not diluted, they may come, they may swarm in, take this one up.
Here's
Nothing
the
would shock
question.
me.
Here's the question, though. I wonder, like, if you are a retail investor, do you feel like, wait a second, I'm getting duped because the guys who are more institutional, the early guys, want to sell out to me? Or do you feel like they're suckers because they want to sell out to you at this price?
I think that the apes think that they're idiots and morons, and they hate the rich people. And remember, this is a class warfare struggle here. And I think that they probably think, what a bunch of suckers. They're leaving a huge amount on the table. Yesterday, I was gleeful at one point, and both Carl and David said, Jim, I think maybe you're a little too enthusiastic. And I did say take something off the table, but all that meant was that I have to hire extra security.
He does have to hire extra security, especially after this clip. AMC coming up to the VWAP 3239 up to the EMA. That's a clean break. Looks like if we have Jim on the screen, just like the Penny Man, it kind of summons AMC's firepower. Boom boom candles. Can we just get one? Can we just get one boom boom in the chat? Come on now. One from each of you. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, this has been such a weird one to watch. We're still kind of digging through the prospectus, trying to figure out what it means. Like, they can do this because if the stock was above 50% for a certain number of days or a period of time, this can happen.
Anthony says, thank you for all you do for the Ape Army. Anthony, that is the Moon Platoon General right here. General of the Ape Army, Meatball here, and I'm just here serving my beautiful nation.
But man, this has been a weird one. We went from joking about this being a meme stock to it becoming a meme stock in a matter of 48 hours.
And it looks like, I mean, how much money do they have trying to keep up Advanced Micro and this? Advanced Micro, big cap company. The only way that they've been able to do it that I can tell is they have to sell GameStop and they have to sell AMC. AMC reports next week. We still don't know what Ryan's plan is over there at GameStop. But I guess they don't really care, the apes. But I think the apes have to keep this ball in the air because it's vital to be able to stick it to the man being the institutions that are selling.
Yep. The man. Another thing is that just count how many times he said the word apes. He's kind of like he's trying to stuff the search algorithm to make sure that people really know that this video is about apes.
I haven't seen anything like this since I flirted with the Spartacus Workers League at college. These guys are amazing.
Yeah, but that's an interesting point.
Do they know that they're communists? Do they know that they're Marxists?
Well,
I mean, that's what they hate the rich.
But
there you go. There it is. I like how she's like, uh-oh, did he really say that? Time to keep talking. Sometimes when you have a really awkward conversation, such as, I don't think certain minorities should be able to do blah, blah, blah. Then the other people in the room have to be like, oh, keep talking. Let's pretend that didn't happen. That's the Jim Cramer way. Say a gaffe and then have all of your co-anchors try to save you.
One thing that I hadn't really thought of is the idea that there's only so much money to go around, so you got to pick your bets. Which one's going to get sold if you're running to Robinhood?
Yeah, I think they have to sell. I think they have to sell AMC because I think that the new variant. They just say you're not going back to the movies again. You got the big screen TV. The hope.
Who's gonna watch Suicide Squad today? Huh? Yeah, just me? Anybody? Who's gonna watch that? Who has already watched it? Who watched it last night? Man, I've heard some good things about it, but obviously after the last one, you can be skeptical. No one's gonna blame you. I've heard John Cena is good. So Jim giving us the rundown that AMC was going to go down yesterday. That was far from the truth. AMC was up 12%. This is a video about Robinhood as well. And he was wrong about Robinhood. Went down 27% yesterday. Look at Meatball. Cutie patootie here. Choco says, watched it, loved it. What does the little pig man say? Little. I'll have you know, he's been working out like a demon. He loves Wendy's salads. He's been eating salads and working out. Oh, man. It was funny, Chris. I agree. Jay's like, that's an old movie. Jay, that's right. It was an old movie with Will Smith and Margot Robbie and the Joker that shall not be named. But this time around, it's different, right? Whole different director, whole different vision. I remember when they mentioned that they were gonna do it again, and I was like, but why? You can do almost any movie. You can make any movie you want. Why recreate Suicide Squad? Well, now I guess we're finding out. Ivy Creek says, just rich cronies like you, Jim. There we go. She gives a little hand lick here. Carolina says, ironic he mentions we're not going back to the theaters, but most of us bought when we were closed. Yeah, he's like, they're not going back to the theaters. Do you remember January? Remember January when they weren't even open? Oh, man. Keep up the great work, Andrew, says Jachooch. Welcome. Hello from Sydney, Australia. Good day. Let's see. I'm here. Good day, y'all, says Houdini. Couldn't even see you back there. He's an escape artist. Sandra Jen says, Kramer, you are a horrible man with a horrible voice that looks down on the little people. Suicide Squad, the 2012 one. Was it really all the way back in 2012? No. No, it was like maybe 4 years ago, right? Am I old? Oh, no. Yes, I agree, Meatball. You see how if I stop petting him, he's like, no. I realized that I could get you to pet me all day. Tyler says, I just bought more because Kramer made me angry. Made me furious. Justin Duran says, so if data would prove we own almost the entire float, how could they manipulate the share price with so little shares available? Just speculating. Well, the end of the day question is how much of your trades are being rerouted and how many of those trades are being abused. That is the question that Gary Gensler himself is posturing, right? Why would the boss himself be like, someone's stealing cups from the break room? You don't have to think that's a conspiracy theory anymore. That is the truth. If the boss baby himself is talking about it. Oh man. That dude from Altered Carbon is here? Which dude? Main guy? They have to make sure Harley's an independent woman who don't need no Joker. Exactly. It was actually 2016. Thank you. See, 4 years ago. That's 20. It's gonna be 2020 in my mind until 2030. That's how my math works. Oh man. The guy who told people to stay in the market while it was crashing and burning. Yeah, really good person to talk about preserving the wealth, says Guardian Angel V. I hope this investment gets shorted by Kenny. Imagine if Kenny and Jimmy didn't get along. If the Kramer and Kenny G weren't actually shooting back some beers on the golf course and the bocce courts. Hungry Howie wants me to take a look at Works. WORX. 25% up today. Dang. Up from $2 all the way up to $3. Oh, it was here before. Oh, it's the same pattern. It's the same pattern. Well, actually, no. This would have been the high from earlier today. But a very similar pattern where there was a bull rush in the 4th and then a dip before the end of the day and then recovery with a little extra. That's called recovery plus. Plus ultra. Okay, let's get maybe like are AMC apes here to stay? Yeah. Huh? The street. I don't want to hear more Jim Cramer. Who is Gary Gensler? Good Vibes Nutrition of Palm Coast has hit that like, friends. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Meatball. Hell yeah. If we get up to 3,000 likes, as always, we'll do a giveaway. So let's try. If you guys want some freebies, let's try to get this up to 3,000 likes. Also, if we can get 100 people clicking on that Lux link, yeah, I'll check in the back end. We'll also do a giveaway, all right? So press that link pinned in the chat, gives you 20% off. And it's a great trading tool. It gives you the buy and sell signals for whatever stock or crypto that you need. Look at these. It makes it easy. Buy here, sell here, buy here, blah, 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 blah. Is about schools brainwashing children to hate their parents and overthrow them. Says Coin Research. Well, if you researched it, Highlands Meats, I appreciate you. Yes, more Gary Gensler, more money. Thanks. AA plus GG equals WW. Adam Aaron plus Gary Gensler equals. What is WW? Let's see. Johnny Pie 117. LOL. The whole staying this. Hold on, wait a second. Having trouble understanding the grammar in that comment here. Four years ago was like 10 years ago. Says AWM Maximus C. That is so true. When I think about it, 4 years ago was like 10 years ago. Oh, win-win. We win? Wonder Woman. There we go. Thank you. Adam Aaron plus Gary Gensler equals Wonder Woman. Andrew, oh man, do you see it? We're making a cup and handle intraday, says Sev11. Okay, Sev, for you, sure. For you, we are. Here's the, so Sev is looking at this cup at the 3412 with a weird long consolidation and then a little handle here. The problem with that is that 3157 is close enough to the bottom of this price action at 28.91, so it's a little bit too low. But if you want to believe in 2-day, 3-day long cup and handles, this is a free world. We can. Gavin says, hey, nice to watch you today. Keep up the good work. Walter White. It's Walter White. Lux, please, please, please. Well, since you said please, please, here it is. Oh, we got a strong buy. That was when AMC was running to contest the EMA. We did, just like we did earlier today. But that EMA, it's a tricky beast. It's a harsh mistress with only with sadness. What in the Lord is happening? Wonder Woman, a powerful woman in DC. She is a powerful woman in DC. But she doesn't live in DC, right? Yes, thank you. Does she live in DC? She works for the Smithsonian, so I guess she does work for DC and she works for DC. Okay. I think they did that on purpose. Hi, hey man, this is Night saying, been a while. How's Meatball doing back there? How you doing? Meatball, you answer. Let me clean up your face. You're a little boogies all over, huh? A little boogie. More coffee from Hector, best friend, the roommate in the Dragon Cup. That's what it is. Don't swim in the dark pool, says a Willis Maximus C. Jaws there. Your face on the thumbnail is my favorite face, is El Rodriguez. That's the kind of comment that I like. You know that face you make? I like it. WW doing the W doot. Okay, let's see whether or not we can try and retake the EMA right now. That's the question of the day. Let's take a look at that options chain. Just for funsies. Where's the 6th? By the way, have you heard of, since Lex Luthor was just on screen, have you heard of that Red Sun comic series where Lex Luthor becomes the president of the United States? I think that was that's a good one. Lex Luthor reminds me of a couple of tech entrepreneurs. Papa Elon. Unless we change some Alexander Hamiltonian laws, I don't think Papa Elon can become president. Let's see, 32, 40 bucks. That's the options change from yesterday. About $4 million worth of calls at the $34-ish range. Now we're looking at puts again. These puts are getting like a little bit overly antsy. They like to gamble, what can you say? Inverse head and shoulders on the daily charts as a real life Greg. Oh, we took the EMA again. I can never see anything on the daily chart. Okay, inverse head and shoulders. Yeah, good TA. Here is the shoulder, the head, next shoulder. The shoulder's a little low. So honestly, I would have appreciated a little more consolidation, but you could. And if that's the case, then we would likely be retaking 37.21 with this next head and shoulders. Thanks. Inverse. In, out. Let's get cracking. Jim Cramer equals Lex Luthor? No, you have to be smart to be Lex Luthor. Uh-oh. Lex would be better than what we currently have. Oh no. You know, Lex isn't canonically evil in every... Is he? I don't actually know enough about DC. You watched Wonder Woman 84? They gave no thought to that plot. Doubt that they're working in DC was on purpose. Francisco, all I have to say is, boy, do I wish I had a coffee. Hey, I got a coffee. Remember that scene? Jesus, that movie made me so mad. Boy, do I wish I had a coffee. Whoa, I got an extra coffee here. Because you only get one? You only get one wish? Or do you get infinite wishes?
No.
You only get one?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Apescape. Immediately thought about Ape Runescape. After Mo asked, we should already petition for one unless there's already one. I need to find my password. Man. Good morning, Ape says sub has the boss. All of these big companies buying almost 1 million shares. Gotta be oversold, says Broomball Kid. The new Suicide Squad has proof DC can make a good movie. I think it might be one of the first chances DC has proven itself. Kleindropper says, have you seen that video of 2008 Jim talking about Citadel? It's hilarious. Citadel's getting a free pass. Okay. Hold on. I like when things are hilarious. So Klein, let me see if I can find that. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. As you wish, says Scott. As you wish. Oh, this only has 600 views? Now we have to watch it.
Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. Here with me, Jim Cramer. As always, good morning, Jim.
That really sounds like she's saying, welcome to Wall Street Confidential, here with me, Jim Cramer.
Piece on Welcome to Wall Street Confidential. Here with me, Jim Cramer. As always, good morning, Jim. Your piece on Citadel, very interesting. How conclusive?
Citadel's absolutely in great shape.
It is, but how conclusive
I just
can
want to
you
make that
be?
point right up top.
Okay.
They're in great shape. As a matter of fact, I want to throw money at them if I were allowed to put money with them. Anybody's down.
Now, you know, I actually didn't understand the jokes about him talking really fast and being on a certain product until this clip where he's talking so fast and so disjointed.
35%. The most important thing to do is throw money at them.
So when I see the New York Times with stories about
Well,
the
they're
health,
in great shape.
What? Why?
Well, because they
Besides
said
the
so.
35%.
They said they're in great shape.
But so
Why are they yelling?
Citigroup said they were in great shape.
Well,
A
it doesn't
lot of
matter.
banks said
Citadel's
they were in great
different.
shape.
See, this is how it works.
Yeah.
See, this is the way it's played. Guys like me can't even say anything other than they're in great shape.
Yeah.
Because then I don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? See, when you're putting an outfit like Citadel, the important thing is not get in trouble. That's why I continue to tell you they're in great shape. Now, if I told you they're in great shape 50 times, what's the takeaway? Thank you.
Yeah, they're in great
Thank
shape.
you.
Yeah, they're in great
The
shape.
end.
See, because you can't talk about a Citadel. Can't, because if you say they're not in great shape, he will say, prove it.
Why is he so slow
Okay,
now?
I've already said we're in great shape. And if you say he is in great shape and someone listens to you, it's dangerous too. So these are crises of confidence, and there isn't anyone that I won't take on. It's in great shape.
It is, Kleindropper says, it looks like he's afraid for his life. Why does he say Citadel's in great shape more than 80 times? Have a drinking game with this clip and see if you're alive after.
Right. I still don't know if I have a conclusion there.
Really? Down 35%. Who would you rather go with? Here's a good question, a Q&A. Who would you rather go with, a manager who's up 10% or a guy who's down 35%?
Up 10%.
Why? Unlimited
Well,
opportunity. Unlimited opportunity to get involved with a guy who's got big redemptions, who everyone's worried about, who says he's got a lot of cash but is also debt. That's the opportunity of a lifetime, isn't it?
But Jim, right now everyone's
And he's the
following-
best.
But
You forgot he's the best.
can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Fear.
Can I say one thing, please? I almost choked on myself. Can I say one thing?
Down 35%. Then it's going to go down 50%,
Farnoosh.
70%. People are going to
Farnoosh,
flee.
that conference
You don't even need to create like a weird like South Park version of him. He's already his own weird South Park caricature of himself.
was very bullish. He said things are good, and the press picked that up. I am thinking what you're doing is you're standing it all on its head. You're saying that good money managers who have done well and preserved capital should get the money. And I am saying I have read the press clippings, and Griffin has said, I don't believe that, down 35 isn't bad. The opportunities are once in a lifetime. Don't believe that there's any real redemptions. I actually have cash even though I'm levered. Fundamentals are sound.
All right.
Fundamentals are sound.
I'm going to hold.
Let me give you an example. Just one more thing.
Sure.
Please,
right now,
you haven't talked enough. I need to hear more, Jim.
Phillies are leading 3-1, right, over the Tampa Bay Rays. Who would you rather be? Citadel in the Rays, okay, or someone who's up 10% in the Phillies? And the answer is obviously the Rays, right? Because they could come back. When you put it like that, it dawns on you more clearly who you want to be.
This was 8 years ago? Why was he so weird 8 years ago? He is just frantically eyeing the entire room. He doesn't know where to put his hands. He slows and then goes immediately to 11. That's insanity. And he has to make sure that Citadel, they're working out like a demon because they're in great shape.
When you talk sports, I get it.
Oh, because, to me, the Rays are the opportunity. Back by 3-1, the odds are really slim that you'll come back. Don't you want to put the money on the Rays?
Why is this video's volume up? Everything is up to its maximum. I can't even hear him.
Yeah.
Clearly who you want to be.
See, when you talk sports, I get it.
Oh, because, to me, the Rays are the opportunity. When you're back by 3-1, the odds are really slim that you'll come back. Don't you want to put the money?
Chris Fleetwood says, what's to stop them from SSR and pump and dump combo strategy to cover? That is a question of where did they short? Because if they shorted all the way back in single digits, do you see the price in single digits anytime soon? I don't think so.
Philadelphia.
I'm just saying when you analogize to another situation. That's why Citadel is the greatest.
Oh, that didn't age well.
That's why Citadel is the greatest.
This video only has 600 views. And now it's my everything. This is my literal Bible. Thank you so much, Klein Dropper. I think this is my favorite video on YouTube. That he is still a like reputable source for I would say millions of people. Would I? Yeah, I would because of cable TV. So I would say he's a reputable source for so many people, and he just had this 3-minute long look at her. She's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble in my career. Uh-oh. Is this a trailer for Split? Oh, no. That's insane. I remember people calling him names, and I didn't understand it until this video. Good boy. Good boy. He's being facetious. I don't think so. Unless this is what everyone in 2008 was doing, which I remember from 2008 they weren't. Hold on, let's do a challenge. Let's see if you can hear what he said at the very end of this video. Volume is up at 100%. He's up at 100%. Let's see.
Over the Tampa Bay Rays. Who would you rather be? Citadel in the Rays, okay, or someone who's up 10% in the Phillies? And the answer is obviously the Rays, right? Because they could come back. When you put it like that, it dawns on you clearly who you want to be.
See, when you talk sports, like.
Oh no. When you talk sports, now she understands. Because you had to dumb it down. Thank you so much, Jim.
I get it.
Oh, because, to me, the Rays are the opportunity. Back by 3-1. It's really slim that you'll come back. You want to put the money.
I'm from Philadelphia.
Well, just saying when you now.
Chris Fleetwood, you got it.
Situation. That's why Citadel is the greatest.
She looks off screen because she knows this is not facetious. This is not sarcasm. This is just Jim. Hey, GME catching a solid bump. 152 up to 154.65. Take a look at AMC. We could be facing a ascending level of support, descending resistance, making a little tiny uptrend into a wedge for the day. Let's see if this pennant plays out nicely. That is exactly what we need to see. VWAP coming up, EMA coming down. That will make a breakout point when the two lines get closer and closer. So both AMC and GME in pretty great shape. Real Life Greg says, can you tell me about TCAT? Let's put TCAT on the board at the very least. TKAT. TCAT. Oh man, it's still back in the $6. Do I still have my 2 shares of TCAT? Funny fun plays. Oh boy, AMC facing that breakout of the EMA early. Not close enough to the breakout point. I would say it's probably closer to here at 1203. Right now it's at 1142. I would say it's closer to there. Oh, that was incredible. BTS sandwiches. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you lately? Ba ba ba. He's losing his rep quite badly now. Hey, don't worry. He's had 9 years to lose his reputation, and yet he hasn't. How? And you know he doesn't have any like mental or like. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I mean to say like you know he doesn't have that same problem nowadays because he's on television all the time. We just saw a clip from him yesterday, so like you can track his behavior and how it's changed. Oh man. Has Jim been to the island? He is the warden on the island. Alright, back in the saddle. That's great. That video gets a bookmark from me. I'm gonna add as a bookmark. Fantasy Island. This is a simulation. Honestly, I don't see any better proof that this is a simulation than Jim Cramer's existence. Drugs are bad until you do them, and then you become a news anchor. I guess, is that what he calls himself? One of the trees. Okay, right here. Let's see. Water won't boil until water won't. Mama always said, water won't boil if you watch it. That's true. Every time someone looks at a stock, I say, stop it. It won't rip if you're watching it. He loves to make those little goo-goo eyes at me. He's like, I hope Andrew notices me today. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of what they put out is scripted. Some call it The Matrix. That's why Citadel is the greatest. I have no proof or doubt he is based on Seinfeld's Kramer. I have no proof or doubt. That's one of my favorite things. I'm gonna start saying that from now on. I have no proof or doubt. I think that's one of the best things to say, especially when you mean it facetiously, because you should always have data, should always have proof. But when it comes to whether or not he's based off of Seinfeld's Kramer, you don't have to have any proof or doubt. Brian says Andrew never notices me. Aw. Jimmy Cap 1, name here that's not true. I know because I'm on drugs and I never act like a clown. Aw, Jimmy Cap, you know, that's good proof actually. Admissions revenue to aid AMC revenue, Q2 earnings. The more I acquiesce to him being being needy on stream, the more he's gonna be needy. It's a vicious cycle. New shirt idea, says Ascot Clark. Citadel, the greatest. People won't really understand it, I don't think. Luke says, but that'd be funny. Cracking me up, man. Hypothetically speaking, if you had 20 GME and 850 AMC, hypothetically speaking, I would not switch meme horses. Apes together strong, and at the end of the day, that's been our policy. We don't give financial advice, but that's what I would personally do, in a hypothetical sense. Andrew, can you put some googly eyes and pretend like you're interviewing Kramer? Put on some googly eyes. So that I'm Kramer, or that I'm interviewing Kramer. Which one of us has the googly eyes on? Man. Gives drugs a bad name. Yeah. GameStop have the news. 2 and 20 are long dead. Hedge funds fall further below one-time industry standard. Hedge funds, they don't get the job done. Pretty sad. All right.
Joining me now to
is the meme trade back? The CNBC is trying to stuff those keywords here. Is the meme trade back? This is back when Robinhood was up. 40% is currently up again today, about 5% after losing a whole 27% yesterday. So what is the tune to is the meme trade back?
Weigh in on the return of the meme trade, perhaps, and give us his best ideas in the tech sector right now is Michael Lippert, former portfolio manager, still, of Barron Opportunity Fund. The 5-star fund is up nearly 10% this year and about 130% since last year's pandemic low. Mike, so tell me, what is going on, you think, in this market? Overall, it's a bit tough, but AMD was under 100 until a couple days ago, before earnings. Now, all of a sudden, it's got this attention, which I guess, is a short-term good thing, but there's a real company underneath that, too.
A short?
Yeah, I would say about AMD, there's obviously a real company underneath it, and there's obviously, big long-term trends. When you think about, what's going on with AI, artificial intelligence, what do you think about building out data centers? whether you think about what they're able to do in computing versus, their old competitor of Intel. So there's much more of a long-term trend in AMD than, perhaps in Robinhood, which you mentioned on the lead.
But I guess what I'm wondering is, you look at things like GameStop, right, which had clear issues, clear problems. There were a lot of people betting against it. You look at BlackBerry or any number of other stocks that sort of got caught up in this early on. Even Robinhood, right, which is a relatively recent IPO. I mean, just a few days ago, there's controversy around it. But AMD is a whole different sort of stock. It's had this track record, as you mentioned, of really, beating up on Intel, stealing market share. What is it?
Hold on, Russ says, anyone else ready for the squeeze so they can stop thinking about how their rent is technically 8 shares of GME or roughly $300 million?
I'd say that a stock like this is getting caught up in a retail frenzy, even as the overall market indices are treading water.
Listen, John, anything can happen in the short term. And so, our firm, Barron, we don't focus a lot on the short-term dynamics or short-term trading. You can get a lot of retail attention. We do focus on secular growth, companies that can grow faster for longer, the power of compounding. And when you talk about AMD and certainly you look at what they've done over the last 20 years, it fits much more into that camp.
So what do you do with some of your top holdings, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon? These are names that had strong earnings in the last cycle just a few days ago. But by and large, with a rare exception here and there, Alphabet in particular, they didn't move that much, I guess because they had already been bid up quite nicely. But it raises questions for me on, even with outstanding results, even these big tech names, how much farther do they have to run?
I think it depends on the names you're talking about. So you highlighted a couple of the big names that everybody owns, that everybody knows. And I think those are the kind of companies that have grown faster for longer and still have, big growth opportunities ahead of them. When we think about faster for longer, we think about the power of the secular growth trend. We think about companies that have a large total addressable market, and there's still a lot of room to penetrate. We think about companies that have multiple TAMs, that have multiple chapters. And so some of the businesses that have really helped us over the last quarter.
Wendy is having the coolest life, watching Suicide Squad tonight and got chocolate hazelnut churros coming to my seat. The churros alone justify the stock price. What? What AMC are you living? You get delivery to your seat?
Companies of that ilk. And I would just highlight Zoom Info, Gartner, and software company Atlassian that, really, again, multiple TAMs, multiple.
It's Atlassian? I don't think so. Pretty sure it's Atlassian. Anyway, from 2 hours ago, so that was from a day and a half ago. This is from 2 hours ago. Robinhood options trading begins. And
our committee on Robinhood that we want to.
Whoa. That's way too big. Let's make you smaller.
Get to first. Now that options trading is open for business. Pete, it opened for business yesterday, and you got some action on today. Tell us.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. The activity was unbelievably robust yesterday. 325,000 contracts were trading yesterday. Obviously, the stock, 172 million. That's well more than on their IPO, which was closer to 100 million. So a lot of very interesting activity coming in, Scott. About 50-50 calls and puts. But I think the most interesting part was the most active strike yesterday was the August 70s. Now, those August 70 calls traded 79,000 contracts alone yesterday. I just got done telling you 325,000 was the total. So it just gives you a little idea of just how busy this particular strike was. They started very low early on in terms of the prices. That started to accelerate to the upside as the stock started to accelerate to the upside as well. That one definitely stood out. Here's the interesting part, however. Of the 79,000 today, the open interest is only 14,000. That gives you a good idea of how much trading is really occurring here. These aren't guys going in there and buying and just saying, you know what, I'm going to hold this for the next week. These are people that are in there for minutes or hours, and that's a lot of what everybody's been kicking around, meme stocks, all the rest of that kind of thing. Well, whatever the case, however you want to break it down, those are the real numbers. And I can also tell you the August 65 calls yesterday were extremely interesting. Started off the day at $4. Within minutes, they were $29. The volatilities, I think, early.
Oh my God, you guys have such cool lives. AMC in Delaware has a full restaurant. You can order alcohol and full-course meals to your dish. Tony Sai says, I can only pre-order my food from concession, even in the Dolby or IMAX theater screening. AMC A-List. And an AMC in Denver, Colorado did that as well. Jeez.
On, Scott.
Real food.
I think was miscalculated by those that were the professionals out there that were pricing this, and they were too low on their implied volatility. They immediately jacked up the implied volatility as they got more and more buyers coming in. You want to find that balance. As a former market maker myself, standing on the trading floors, that's exactly what you've got to do. First of all, you need to start right. Second of all, even when right is right, you need to start to move around a little bit, and that's something that they did very rapidly to try to catch up to where the supply and demand really were, to get sort of a more even mix. That's exactly what they got to, but it took them about an hour or two into the trading session. Volatilities were up near 300 IV. They actually pulled all the way back down to 200, 250. Today it's a lot closer to a 200 implied volatility. These are monstrous.
Jeez, crypto is ripping to the high heavens right now. Ethereum up 4% to 2,900. Bitcoin up to 42,000, almost 43 at 6.5%. Doge crawling up to 20 cents. Doge seems to be making par for the course, but Ethereum and Bitcoin are making big waves. Seems like the crypto winter didn't last for long.
Numbers, Scott, and a lot of what's been going on, at least today, in terms of Robinhood. Still seeing a lot of paper, but the implied volatility continues to come down lower and lower and lower as the stock is kind of sort of held right around that $60 to $62 level.
Obviously, I'm struck by the fact that you've got 50-50 split in calls versus puts, so it's the ultimate battleground place. You also have a call spread on. Pete, can you give me the exact details of what you've done here?
Sure, I've got regular August, so there's all types of different strikes in August.
This man's beard is mythical. I don't know what it's doing, but it's mythical in that it looks exactly like the rendering in like GTA or in like Sims. How does it exist in real life?
There are months. You've got August 6th to 13th. You go out. I'm regular expiring August calls. I own the 65s. I sold the 70s. So what does that really mean? It means that I've reduced my risk, and I've also given myself a little bit less room to the upside if it's going to run to the upside. But it cost me about $1. I can make $5 on the best scenario. I don't mind that. It's a 1 for 5. That's an unbelievable type of reaction if we get that in a short period of time. I like what we're seeing. And Scott, in terms of that mix, the calls and the puts, just remember this. The shorting was not an issue, right? I mean, that takes a little while before there's folks out there and they start moving things around and shorting stocks. On the other side of things, puts, that's a way of shorting stocks as well if you're owning those puts. And I think that's partially what we were seeing yesterday was definitely some put sellers when the implied volatilities were a little bit.
Did he just say puts are, okay, I'm not paying close enough attention. I'm just like, these puts are also shorts.
Too high, but I think we are also starting to see a lot of put buyers coming in, kind of evening out where everybody was with the calls and the puts.
Steve Weiss, you were in and out a couple of times yesterday. We find out today that you are now out, but it seems to be changing by the minute. So can you give us an update on exactly what your position is?
My position is 0 at this point.
Got surprised. Every day I'm choking up. Steven and Weiss.
Out most of it yesterday at around the 65 level. Traded up to 70 after that, so you feel a little foolish, but hey, you make what you...
Mugatu, that's right. That's what this guy looks like. Mugatu. Yes.
You make what you can. Feel foolish playing it all together, frankly. And today I sold at 65. They've got a huge ATM. It's not a secondary. It's an at the market. So they'll keep peeling at the stock. If I were the shareholders that are selling, I'd be very anxious to get that done at these levels. And I think that's what they'll do. After that happens, I think it's off to the races again. But as you pointed out, and as Pete said by the numbers, it's the ultimate battleground stock. And my fear is that it's going to become too much of a distraction. So I'll likely lay off it unless there's a very clear momentum play here going forward.
You see how dangerous Robinhood was to play for these past few days? Like, you have no idea. If you continue to short or you played shorts or options at all with Robinhood and you thought it was going to continue going down, you would have been in a bad shape today, especially since options are expiring today. So if you bought them for the short term because you think you know where it's going, IPOs, especially ones that have been pumped and dumped in the past, are likely not going to be a bet that you want to make. There's lots of money to be made. You have to make the right bet, though. Beard looks like Wubsy's old man Grumpus. Okay, I do like that. I do like whatever that is. Wubsy. Ethereum upgrade marks beginning of the end for blah, 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 blah. Robinhood drops after a huge rally as investors file to sell.
Hey, Melissa.
100 million shares. This is the 100 milli news here. Okay. Juices Go sold mine on day 2 for 73. Wow. Dude, we need 2x. Woo. Is that Yondu? It's Yondu. That's true. There's only like a couple of fictional characters with that specific beard. Sushat, it can be used for swing trading. I don't recommend day trading until you're really, really into it, and even really researched. And even then, I can't recommend anything because I'm not a financial advisor. But yes, if you wanted to look at a whole video about Lux, take a look on the channel. Andrew Mo, and then just search Lux. You'll find the first video that comes out on YouTube search. And if that's not informative enough, we actually do have another video coming out soon to just describe what it is, how it do, where it at, how it be. Man, this guy's got alt accounts. All right, Robinhood. Yesterday, all the news was pouring out. Robinhood was having a very, very bad day, and that was the 97.9 million shares they decided to file to sell. Vlad likely thought that a pullback would be healthy for the stock. 27% pullback, though. Nuking your own foot. Let's take a listen.
So Robinhood stock closing 27% lower today in a sharp reversal from that rally just yesterday. It closed around $50 a share, well above that $38 per share price where the trading app went public just last week, but it has been a volatile few days for this name. And part of what sparked the weakness earlier was headlines that insiders can now sell. I've been talking to venture capital investors today who say it doesn't necessarily translate to a wave of insiders dumping stock. They now have the choice to sell. And among the firms in that group of potential sellers today that Robinhood disclosed in a regulatory filing, we had New Enterprise Associates, early investor there, Ribbit Capital, Index Ventures, all three of those firms backed Robinhood back in January during the GameStop saga, and finally, Andreessen Horowitz as well. We did also get a bearish note out from Wolf Research that could be weighing on shares too. The firm initiating coverage at a $45 price target, calling it uninvestable on both the long and the short side. They say it's too expensive to short, and on the long side, they cite what they call meme stock risk with yesterday's run-up, regulatory risk as well. If payment for order flow comes under more pressure, they say that is nearly impossible to handicap. And they say there are some early signs of weakening retail trading activity. Melissa, back to you.
So, Kate, just so I understand it, the people who are now allowed to sell, are these separate people from the initial quote-unquote insiders who are allowed to sell up to 15% of their holdings at IPO?
So this was disclosed in a July filing. So we knew that there were a certain level of insiders that would be able to sell. This actually goes back to January. If you remember, they raised about $3.5 billion from their VC investors. It was in the form of convertible debt. So it converted to equity at the IPO price. We knew that they were selling. We got more information on exactly how much they could sell, the numbers there. So Ribbit, NEA, for example, is now able to sell about 4% of their shares. And to be clear, they're now all able to sell, but they're still the majority shareholders. NEA, for example, and some of these firms own up to 10% of the company still. It gives them the optionality. We haven't confirmed if they are sellers, and a lot of them, I've been making a ton of calls today. Venture capital investors are very nervous to actually say if they sold. And there's a chance that they didn't. So that's sort of the takeaway here, is that it's unclear. The initial reaction by investors was...
Pay attention to the fact that we have now drawn an uptrend to the downside of AMC's price action. This ascending levels of support means that we have now just recontested 3307. That's the first set of a series of levels of resistance. And in that sense, AMC has nearly gone green on the day, just 1% left to go.
There's a little bit of fear that insiders were quickly running to dump the stock, which does not seem to be the case.
All right, Kate, thank you. Kate Rooney with a scoop on Robinhood. Bonawyn, how do you feel about Hood?
I mean, nothing to see here, right? I remember I got up here when we were talking about GameStop and AMC. Grasso alluded to it earlier in terms of supply and demand, but this is clearly an example of this purely being driven by supply and demand. There's no valuation. I lauded some of the research that was being done by the public, by retail investors, where they're going in, looking at short interest, looking at holders, and understanding the mechanics of optionality and how a short squeeze works. I see none of that coming to bear here. There's much less observable data for one to form a trading thesis around. This purely, I mean, what possibly could have come out that would cause a company to lose 25% of its value? I mean, that fundamental question seems to be lost in this whole trading scenario.
Yeah, I mean, it all hinges. This does feel like this is going to be a stock that we are hanging on the last headline for price direction. Yesterday, everyone was reaching for it. Everyone was tripping over themselves to buy it.
As much as 80+%.
Exactly. And it's still up 30, 38, 40% from its IPO. So when you have an embedded group of dedicated people, now we could argue over whether the people that actually use it hate Robinhood now or love Robinhood, but you still have an embedded force behind you that will carry your flag ultimately. That you can't bet against for me. And I think we could be looking at the stock at 250, at 300, and no one would be shocked, right? Or you could be looking at a 30. And no one's going to be shocked too. So it's going to depend on the last headline, where payment for order flow goes, and what Gary Gensler wants to do. Is it going to be a pilot program? And does that allow Robinhood to still hang on? And it's sort of in that gray area. But this is not one that I would bet against. I actually thought about buying it yesterday. I said, this is too... I thought about it when it was on its way up, and I said,
going to say, are you nuts?
Yes, but that's I am a cowboy when it comes to these type of names, and I think most people that play in this name are going to be shoot from the hip type people, and they're not going to be buy and hold.
But today, down 27% didn't tempt you.
No, it does. It does tempt me, and I will be in this stock.
Bet, play, and shoot. Those three terms pretty.
I'm pretty sure he just said three completely different things. He's like, I'm not gonna buy it. You know, I will be buying it.
Right, associated with this stock, which is maybe how a lot of its trader base, Jeff Mills, regards the stock market, which is interesting.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I didn't read that Wolf note, but the first thing that came to my mind was uninvestable, because as soon as you start getting into that meme stock bucket, it's just very difficult to judge price direction. It can go significantly higher. You have no idea for how long. So it's a hard stock to trade. And I've been hearing a lot of negative longer term takes on the company, and I hate to pile on, but I'm going to, in just the sense that I don't know that price cutting alone or a fancy front end is necessarily sustainable disruption, and it's enough to drive the company going forward. You know, I think it's a great platform for new traders. That's clear. But beyond that, you know, what's next for the company? I think the average account size for Robinhood is somewhere around $3,500. I have an account for my 7-year-old daughter set up, but once balances grow, once you get a little bit more sophisticated, that gamification element becomes a little bit less appealing, and you still have all of those risks like competition, regulatory risk, even a market downturn, and then obviously the current valuation. So.
Well, the value proposition isn't necessarily unique anymore now that most online brokerages offer $0 trading, Nadine. So you take a look at that in terms of the value proposition, then in terms of the business model, it's payment for order flow, the majority of its revenues, and then within that, it's a concentrated number of participants paying for that order flow. So it seems like risk built on risk here.
Mel, you're right. And I think the point about the payment for order flow is so important, because you just know it's like a game of musical chairs. Sometime all the chairs are going to get pulled out, and you don't want to be the one left playing the game, sitting waiting for the chair that's nowhere near you. And that's what's happening here, right? Is that it's this unknown, but pretty certain that something's going to happen negative in that regard. They're not going to be able to keep all those revenues, which are very profitable. So then it comes down to, well, what is their competitive edge? And because there isn't a lot of trading history, because of who's propping it up, it's really hard to have any kind of fundamentals on this. And even from a trading perspective, getting trading ranges and the like, it's just too wide of a range. So I just sit out. I did read the report, and this is the kind of thing you just say, I'm going to sit out. I'm not going to bet against it. I'm not going to bet for it. I just sit out.
Today, the days of Ether mining were already numbered, but the deadline just got way, way closer. Plus, Target hopes to bring in new workers by paying their college tuition. And finally, President Biden announced a brand new EV initiative, and he skipped right over Tesla. I'm Pippa Stevens, and this is CNBC After Hours. Stocks bounced back from Wednesday's sell-off, with the Dow and Nasdaq both gaining about 0.75%. The S&P rose over 0.5% to reach another record high. Crypto also had a strong day, with Bitcoin jumping back over $40,000, and Ether climbed as much as 4%. Ether's gains are linked to a...
So this is the Ethereum report that Ethereum, just like the rest of the crypto market, looks pretty okay. That's our secret, Stark. I like that. So AMC recontests its high of the day, 3307. We are currently looking at whether or not there is going to be a chance we build on the price foundation that we currently have. 3307 is a double top right now. Doesn't mean that we are going to face a downtrend. In fact, I think we're wedging into the space that I've connected to the next level of resistance. 3302, if that break doesn't happen even earlier, that is currently what we're waiting for. That's what we're counting on. What we like to see. That was a good video, yeah. Sub has the boss. What's going on? Hello. Excuse me, Mr. Mo Money says Vic's iPhone. What's up? Vic's phone, not iPhone, sorry. It could be Android. Shape-shifting Andrew. We love to see it. ACH biggest gainer. Crypto right now has a couple of altcoins that are facing even greater gains than the 4 to 6%. Ethereum's up 4, Bitcoin's up 6. That they are getting some major attendees today. Attendee City. Andrew, cup and handle on the 1 hour chart for AMC. Yes, so that would be over 2 days. And so that would be not an intraday cup and handle, but definitely not the classical cup and handles that exist for over like a couple of days, or sorry, a couple of weeks to a couple of years. So in that sense, you could, since AMC has been shown to be a little bit more rambunctious, a little bit more, shows its price action and patterns a little bit earlier than other stocks, I mean. Let's see if my mods can help out a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do something. Never fear, I am here. I have the power. And I think I do. All right. Okay, thank you. 3312. AMC is really tracking this uptrend very nicely. What's up with the shills? They're bots. And honestly, there's only one raisin in the oatmeal cookie. Odeon owner. Not much else but to look at the Ortex numbers to see if they are still around the 16%. Yep. Crash a little bit. Oh, 3.57. Yeah, we have now crossed over 16% for AMC. So short interest keeps getting shorter, which means that they are digging their grave deeper and deeper. AMC has now gone to that 16.15%. GME continues to grow as well. Oh, there seems to be some data leakage. Unless it fell significantly yesterday. This was at 15% when we checked it yesterday. Now it's down to 13.72. Remember, yesterday GME's short interest was higher than AMC. Tad Hawley, what's going on? Oh, I love how the Moon Platoon is so like positive. You guys stuck together. You guys persisted. You existed. I love this community. That's how it is. Keep the raisins out of my oatmeal cookies, says Mad Hatter. Earlier, I've learned the phrase, don't yuck my yum. Keep your yuck out of my yum. Let's just put the price action underneath this rocket, like a little exhaust trail, bringing us from the 3157s all the way up. There's no resistance or supports that can be identified cleanly in this space, which means we go all the way up to 3312. Serena A bought Lux. What are some good settings for AMC? Go ahead and check out the Lux algo tutorial that I have. It's really just setting it on autopilot and then introducing some of the bands. So if you guys wanted those Bollinger bands for reversal, turn those on in the settings. Yeah, that strong buy signal. So look at that video, and if you wanted to just wait, press that subscribe, press that bell button, because we're having a new tutorial coming out for the Lux algorithm. And again, we're waiting for 100 of you to slam that link in the description for the Lux algo. You know what's funny is that Apex is like this clearinghouse, I think, that has been in a lot of trouble, but it has the word ape in it. So that could have been our clearing firm. Look at the options chain today. Sure. For you, McCree. So we have some puts way in the money. $1 million worth of puts at $120 strike. Very weird. And for today, run of the mill put city right here, $1 million at 37, $1 million at 38, $1 million at 40, $2 million at 42. I could go on. Only 400,000 calls, $400,000 worth of calls at the far right side at $145 strike. Alrighty. Whistle, whistle. Here, Meatball. Come on, buddy. He pops up like a cartoon character. He's like, oh. Yeah. AMC's slow volume brought to you again by the letter by the letter who. Eret says 16% is crazy. Can you imagine what the real short interest is? I reckon well over 100, but time will tell. Yeah, I reckon. Paul's looking out the window, thinking about what he wants to do today. How do the SEC look at that and not call corruption, says Scott Lanley. Their Calvary Hispanic Church, what's going on? Meatball sniffing out the shorts. That's his job. We got shill sniffing dog, we got short sniffing dog. And the world turns again. Meatball is very attentive. We talked earlier about why the narrative for Gary Gensler right now is following what the hip kids are doing and talking about dark pools. So at the end of the day, you could see it from that perspective that like he's kind of like a news agency. He's a PR system that needs to be able to talk about the dark pools and say, "Oh yeah, I'm hip with the kids. I'm on your side." So in that sense, what he says needs to match what he does in order for this to actually play out as he's an ape and not someone who is a politician that's not ultimately going to help the movement. If he ends up saying that dark pools need to be investigated and then we don't say anything in the next month, then it's likely going to be, well, put your money where your mouth is. Change the system if you think that there is, unless you're just trying to catch a trending hashtag. He would like to be big on Twitter. So would everyone, though. You don't sound like your allergies are wound up. Yep, they're not wound all the way up. They're wound like back. Let's see. Can you explain why Robinhood shows higher market cap divided by cost of shares, showing over 260 million more shares than there is for AMC? That's just going to be bad data. If there's 50% more shares than there actually are, then that's not good data. To explain it though, we would have to dig in a little deeper. Probably going to have to do some like verify this with like other forms, but officially there cannot be more than 513 million shares. There's no more shares that AMC themselves have issued. Josh Geyer says, I missed you all. Can't wait to quit my job. Let's take a look at this small peak underneath this uptrend down to the EMA. Look how perfectly this uptrend had confirmations. That's what I really, really like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 confirmations on this one line. That's not easy. I think to build an Elliott wave this consistent would mean that you had to have some serious like bull bear coordination. It's kind of like hand-eye coordination, but bulls and bears have to agree that this is the line that everyone's following. Now that it's come down below the line, the EMA or the VWAP, we have 2 lifelines. Like, who wants to be a millionaire? We got 2 lifelines on the way up. Mark Baptiste says, good morning, Andrew. Smart idea to say "fooly fools" at some point during my interview today. Yes. If you can just fit it in somehow. It'd be like, well, sir, the reason why I'm qualified for this job, unlike the fooly fools who aren't. Aw, Mark, good luck today and whatever you're interviewing for. Oh, Richard Simmons is back. Yes, he's back. Let's see. BTS sandwiches. Oh my god, this guy here. Let's see. Hey Andrew, how do you think the AMC is forming the arc parabolic pattern on the 6 months chart? They kept talking about that parabolic arc. I wonder if the DD writers about that parabolic arc actually like followed up with that. Be like, yeah, the parabolic ISRG says Vic's phone. ISRG. Okay. Strong buy signal from the 26th of July all the way back on the July now. All the way down here, 19th of July as well. So from 930 to all the way to 1,000. Modest gains, about like 5-ish per 7%. Coming up to the 1017s right now. Is this the highest high? Yes, the highest high it has. Well, in that case, you're in uncharted territory. Just like when AMC was here. When AMC reached the 70s, that was the highest high it's ever had, which means it was your guess versus everyone else's guess. Hold on, let me clear my throat. Excuse me. All right, AMC catching a bounce underneath the EMA, but not quite all the way to the VWAP. Crossing over back over to the uptrend, perhaps. The moving average is a chance for the bears to reverse this back down to the VWAP. So two choices. One, back down to the VWAP. Hit this blue line, back down to the VWAP, then catch a bounce. Otherwise, we will see push through the simple moving average somewhere around here, maybe have a little bit of consolidation, then push right from here. Either way, this right now where we are is bullish. Can I check Palantir Ortex? Oh God, is this not going to be in the NYSE? It might be on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ Palantir. No, it was the NYSE. Don't I feel sheepish? 2%. 2% short for Palantir. That's right, Keith. Jessa doesn't lie either. Let's see. That's how many confirmations we had earlier for AMC for this uptrend. Now we're trending underneath it. Jeez. Jeez Louise. Good golly, Miss Molly. About 1,000 likes in here. If we can make the math make sense a tiny bit, catch that like counter up to the people watching, that would be cool for the algorithm. The algorithm would be like, whoa, there's so many likes on this video. Must be because people like it. Seems like bears are always trapping us these days. Says yoke. A few months, we need whales to change sides. ZY shorts. ZY. I'm assuming this is going to be NASDAQ, but I don't want to be wrong anymore. ZY. NASDAQ. 7%. They're like, check out this crazy stock. It's shorted. It's shorted to 7%. Keith says, you said Keith? I thought you were talking to me. That's what I think every time I hear Andrew. I'm like, Andrew? That's my name. Resort Dogs, it is still a balloon. It's definitely a grower, being helium. If AMC can close 35 plus today, then I'm more confident that it can be 40-50. That's why traversing this uptrend was so important. And the fact that it is now coming back down to the VWAP means that we got to take a little detour. Taking a baby detour. I'm gonna play my favorite clip once more. My new Bible that thanks to who was it?
Welcome to Wall.
If you're still here, Klein Dropper, that's it. Klein Dropper, thanks for introducing this. This is one of the best videos. Remember who remember who Jim Cramer is, okay?
Confidential here with me, Jim Cramer. As always, good morning, Jim. Your piece on Citadel, very interesting. How conclusive?
Citadel's absolutely in great shape.
It is, but how conclusive
I just want to make that point right up top.
Okay.
They're in great shape. As a matter of fact, I want to throw money at them. If I were allowed to put money with them, anybody who's down 35%, the most important thing to do is throw money at them.
So when I see the New York Times with stories about,
well, they're in great shape.
What? Why?
Well, because
besides
they said
the 35%.
They said they're in great shape.
But so Citigroup said they were in great shape.
Well,
a lot of banks said they were in great shape.
See, this is how it works.
Yeah.
See, this is the way it's played. Guys like me can't even say anything other than they're in great shape.
Yeah.
Because then I don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? See, when you're putting an outfit like Citadel, the important thing is not get in trouble. That's why I continue to tell you they're in great shape. Now, if I told you they're in great shape 50 times, what's the takeaway? Thank you.
Yeah, they're in great shape.
Yeah, they're in great
shape.
The end. See, because you can't talk about Citadel. Can't, because you say they're not in great shape. He will say, prove it. Okay? I've already said we're in great shape. And if you say he is in great shape and someone listens to you, it's dangerous too. So these are crises of confidence, and you know, there isn't anyone that I won't take on. It's in great shape.
Right. I still don't know if I have a conclusion there.
Really? Down 35%. Who would you rather go with? Here's a good question. Here's a Q&A. Who would you rather go with? A manager who's up 10% or a guy who's down 35%?
Up 10%.
Why? Unlimited opportunity. Unlimited opportunity to get involved with a guy who's got big redemptions, who everyone's worried about, who says he's got a lot of cash but is also debt. That's the opportunity of a lifetime, isn't it?
But Jim, right now everyone's
and he's the best. But you forgot he's the best.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Fear. When you see down 35%, then it's going to go down 50%, 70%. People are going to flee.
That conference call was very bullish. She said things are good, and the press picked that up. I am thinking what you're doing is you're standing it all on its head. You're saying that good money managers who have done well and preserved capital should get the money. And I am saying I have read the press clippings, and Griffin has said, I don't believe that, down 35 isn't bad. The opportunities are once in a lifetime. Don't believe that there's any real redemptions. I actually have cash even though I'm levered. Fundamentals are sound.
All right.
Fundamentals are sound. Let me give you an example. Just one more thing.
Sure.
Right now, the Phillies are leading 3-1, right, over the Tampa Bay Rays. Who would you rather be? Citadel in the Rays, okay, or someone who's up 10% in the Phillies? And the answer is obviously the Rays, right? Because they could come back.
Who would you rather be? The one that's losing the race or the one that's not losing the race?
When you put it like that, it dawns on you more clearly who you want to be.
I like how he's saying, like, now your line is to say it dawned on you that it does make sense. That close-up was lit, says Bradley. Oh my goodness. Jessa says, I feel like your next contest should be the one where people send in their videos of Kramer impersonations and you view them for us to vote on. I love that idea. I absolutely think that's a hilarious idea. For 120,000 subscribers, that's a fun idea. Let's do that. Send in your 10-second Kramers. You got 10 seconds to be like Jim Cramer. Send in your 10 seconds Kramers to Andrew Mamoni on Instagram or Twitter, and we'll maybe view them on the show. Let's find out. Maybe. Wouldn't that be fun? The sports and financial genius. He must have been living in fear back then. What a world we live in. Oh wait, we almost missed the most important part of this video. One sec.
See, when you talk sports, I get it.
Oh, because, to me, the Rays are the opportunity. Back by 3-1, the odds are really slim that you'll come back. Don't you want to put the money in the Rays?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Well, I'm just saying when you analogize to another situation. That's why Citadel is the greatest.
I like that clip. The greatest. Him smoking is like bad analogy. Was it a bad analogy or was it the greatest? Have you asked yourself that? And Webull still keeps like there's just so much Kramer news everywhere. Just permeates the system. Losing 3-1 in a 4-win game. Yeah, let's bet $1 million on the losing team. Because they could come back. I'm speechless, says Brian. It's like he puked for 3 minutes straight. Wow, he can speak quiet. Yeah, he can speak so quiet that it's impossible to hear even when all of your volume on your computer and on YouTube is all the way up. Chortle snort. Go back to Juilliard. No, he went to Harvard and then Harvard Law. I can't. You have to go to Harvard Law. He's like a virus. He's very viral. He had viral potential back in 2008. He had viral potential now. Just tuned in, says Intense. What's popping? Well, AMC popped back from the 5%-ish down range to the 2%-ish down range. So now currently hanging right between its VWAP and EMA. Likely going to spend a little time here. This is called VWAP EMA jail. When your EMA is moving slow enough that it acts as resistance, but your VWAP acts as like a minor support, you stay in VWAP EMA jail. Also known as VWAPIMA. VWAPIMA. It was the greatest worst analogy close-up of Kramer ever. They're great. Don't you think that all this Kramer crap is intentional? Like, maybe the hedgies are having him be this big distraction for us and using AI to determine our engagement with him so that he can influence? It's certainly possible. This video only has 600 views. So, I don't think so. But it could be. Smokin says, I played baseball for 20 years? What position? Wait, do baseballs have... Yeah, they do, right? They have positions. Yeah. Meatball and Andrew Money Fan Club, Ape Strong and Holdling. Resort Dog says, the media sell what the public would watch? Nah, that would be like rattling the spoon in the slop bucket. Ew. That's like yucking someone's yum. That's like, oh yeah, Alec Dodson, the love is mutual. The love is... Meatball is love. Meatball is life. Meatball is love. Meatball is life. Ooh. I am going to make sure that every person reminds themselves who Jim Cramer is at all times. It's very funny. Reyes says, not just this video, he's appearing everywhere lately. No, it's true. It's really, really true. He is truly everywhere. It's astonishing. It's like we cannot get rid of him. But the most important thing is that, can you connect what he was like before to what he is like now? That's the biggest question. Justin says, back in the day, hood was a code word for, I don't know which day we were. We need the rocket takeoff sound. Yes, Chinmay, here we go. Ready? Hold on, I need to move the rocket. Houston. We have liftoff. That was Chinmay, not me. Rockets in the chat. That's what we like to see. Back in the day was always a Wednesday, says Nate. I like the little aphorisms that we have on this show. Back in the day, that's always a Wednesday. BTS Sandwich says, I look away for 1 second to hear all these sounds. That's not a rocket, that's my milk steamer. Juice's Ghost says, wow, I thought I was watching Cape Canaveral. Joe says, I like because of the rocket sound. You see, that's a good reason to like. If you're in this chat, you like that rocket sound, or you liked a little bit of technical analysis, or you like Meatball, throw a like in the chat. My astronaut voice is Kylo Ren. I would love to play Kylo Ren, but I don't want to play regular Kylo Ren. I want to play Adam Driver's Kylo Ren. Is that how Darth Kramer sounds? Darth Kramer? Adam Aaron just tweeted. Let's make sure we catch up on some of these Aaron tweets. To be true, Adam Aaron is the only Aaron that exists in the world, in my opinion. The only one that matters. And May says, we like all of that. Good. Many of you are asking, what is he saying? Hold on. Many of you are asking AMC to show concert movies at our theaters. 1 sec. Hold on. I don't know what this trailer is, but many of you are asking AMC to show concert movies at our theaters. The amazing, magnificent Coloring World is our first. With Chance the Rapper. Chance, please notice me. Why won't Chance the Rapper notice me? People had to create art for the amount that Chance does not notice. This is the Chance the Rapper art by Kathy Joe. Look at this. Call me, Chance. If you want to help the Twitterverse get us up to 20,000 and maybe have Chance call me, follow on Andrew Mo Money on Twitter. Daniel says, I work at screen printing shop and could make plenty to sell. Ooh. Oh, that's right. That's right. Did I ever follow up, Daniel, on your print shop idea? Because it's a pretty good one. Chinmay says, look, the rocket sound. It did it again. It did it again. Resort Dog says, I'm trying to perfect my curmudgeon. See, these are really good phrases. I want to go back to this live stream and just remember all the good phrases today. Like, back in the day, every day was a Wednesday. Keith, that's a good Key and Peele reference. I was like, uh-oh. Jens Gemmel says, if I sold now, I would buy a deposit on a home in France, but a deposit doesn't buy you a new life. So we hodl. Life-changing, opt to start a new life in France. Thanks, Andrew, for your education. Jens, salute your very strong millennial desire to own property. And the end of the day, the fact is, it's getting harder and harder. The markets are going crazy. It's called Kramer Citadel's getting a free pass for person who keeps asking. Keith says, just got approved for my mortgage, moving to a new house at the end of August. Yo, throw some houses in the chat for Keith. Heck yeah. Congrats. We love to hear that. We love to hear that people are getting, you're getting house money. You're becoming a landed gentry. All right. Top, deep top. You messed up, Aaron. Housing market will crash once all the boomers die? No, right? Currently, the market is propped up by the fact that there is supply and demand, and if you are like an old guy who owns land, you can actually control whether or not new properties get built because it's all usually at the local level. So when they die, the youngsters will come in and they will be able to inherit their dad's land, and then the youngsters will probably hold on to those same policies. So just because boomers are gone doesn't really mean that greed disappears. Mexicanos del Mundo, late to the party. I'm so glad we stayed until Mexicanos del Mundo showed up. Totally disconnected from the news. What's with Cranky Cramester today, bro? Did he spew his daily load of BS against apes? We went back to a very hilarious old video of him. I'll just play you a 5-second clip because it's a very good clip at the very end of this. Here. He's whispering.
That's why Citadel is the greatest.
Citadel is the greatest. Aww. Daniel Rodriguez says, we're a mom and pop store that does excellent work, so let me know what you wanted to do. I can also make one and send you a pic to your email. I just got to order some bandanas. Bandana ahoy. We need a poll. How many of you would get Moon Platoon bandanas? That'd be really cool. We need to get a poll. I need to stop procrastinating on the next part of my life. I would like to, one, start a real clothing brand. So Apescape is actually a pretty cool name for that clothing brand. So I have to research whether or not that IP already is like copyrighted, and I have to like find maybe a domain name and stuff like that. And then I would try and maybe work on some music. I would like to make music. So you guys are hearing this first. I'm not sure if I'll be any good at it, but I would like to. Ape Escape is a game for PS4 in 1999, but not Apescape. Go to apescape.com. Oh, what? This might work. This might work. They want boom boom candles. That's right. Do you guys want candles? I need to buy a candle ASAP. Love Meatball just being in the back, like chewing on his little paw here. He's the cutest. It's true. Apescape.com. Okay. It's $2,900. So now we're gonna have to make a new name. So it lived as long as it died. Do you play the guitar? If it wasn't a piece of wood, it's just a prop. It's a costume. But Halloween's coming right around the corner, you know? What about Super Meme? You know, that's actually kind of interesting. What about Supreme? How would you even be able to pronounce that? Alright, supermeme.com is already registered. Okay, so someone already wants Super Meme. Numbered letter says, please make a candle called Boom Boom the Scent. I have no idea what it would be. It would probably be like the smell of bananas or... Anyway, that's enough ideation, guys. Thanks so much for spending another 2 hours with yours truly. 2 free stocks in the description down below with the trading app that I'm using. Don't use it as a broker if you don't want to support payment for order flow. That's Webull. Hey, if you guys want to get $250 of free Bitcoin and get 8.6% interest, I am just trying to put all of my worldly savings into BlockFi. So that's one of the easiest ways to be able to get a savings account substitute, as well as the fact that we still have less than 100 of you that have pressed that Lux algo in the description down below. Big shout out to those of you who have pressed that pinned chat that gets you into the Moon Platoon, joins that Moon Platoon proper, becomes a general ape or a specific ape. See that dad joke there? More dad jokes. Make sure to hit that subscribe and that bell button. I don't say it often, but it does really add to the momentum of our financial revolution. Thank you guys. I'll see you over the weekend. I'll make a couple videos, and for now, but not for forever, I'll see you in the money. Peace. Peace. Goodbye.